Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to SeanTMac's NFL pick6, where I, SeanTMac, give you 6 games that I believe will win against the spread. I don't work for a casino or a sports app, and I don't condone gambling. And like my father used to say, never bet with the rent money. And make sure the cat's fed. Forgot about it. If you're just joining us, we are in the third round of the football playoffs. 4 teams left, as we are 2 weeks away from the Super Bowl. 1-3 this weekend. Hey, great regular season, the postseason. Like we say, it's a different NFL, correct? But depending on the games and the teams that you picked, hopefully you did well. And I will continue to strive to have this weekend a 2-0 week, if you know what I mean. 2 games, NFC Championship, AFC Championship. We'll start with the AFC Championship first. All 4 teams definitely deserve to be there, so my hat's off to all of them. And let's move on. Patriots at the Broncos. Patriots will be 5.5-point favorites at this time. Remember, always check the point spread before you commit to whatever you're doing with these games. All right. With that said, the Broncos will be at home. Weather, if that's a concern, about 42 degrees, maybe some rain, cloudy, and a ruckus crowd, if you know what I mean. Because you think it's hard to play in Seattle, that one's another one. That's another stadium, another fans you got to deal with. Mike Vrabel, coach of the New England Patriots, hats off to him. Kudos. Great job this year. Drake May, quarterback, all season. We haven't seen him blow anybody away. He's a little bit of a game manager, but he thinks outside the box. So that makes him dangerous, even for the inexperience of the playoffs that he has. Mind you, this will be the first road playoff game for Drake May in his young career. And last week, by the way, he ran for about 12, 13 yards, nothing spectacular. He usually scrambles out of the pocket for a good 20, 30, sometimes 60-yard gains per game. He didn't get a chance to do that last weekend. And he only threw for about 180 yards. So, not bad, but not shabby either. And of course, he got the win, and that's all that counts, correct? His weapons include Stevenson and Henderson in the backfield. Stevenson ran for over 70 last week. He's somebody to reckon with. On the receiving side, you got Diggs and Booty. Sensational catch by Booty last week. Wow, that was unbelievable. And the tight ends, you got Henry and Chisholm. Offensive line kind of worries me a little bit. They've been giving up a lot of sacks. Last week they gave up, 5 sacks? A lot, about 12 pressures. That's too much for a young quarterback back there to be thinking about. And if you notice lately, Drake May's handling of the ball has not been very good. All right, and you're wondering if that's in the back of his mind about his offensive line. Not to mention his left side, his tackle. What's the gentleman's name? Williams. Listen, Pro Bowl, excellent experienced tackle, but even he admitted he's playing hurt. Okay, and unfortunately, as good as he is, that can actually hurt you. So look for Denver to put a lot of pressure on his side. You know what I'm saying? And get him out of the game, because I think they can. So the offensive line, to me, it's above average. But if they want to win this game against Denver, and you know the Texans was tough with their defense in front 4. These guys are something else too, and they're fast. All right, especially around the outside pressure. But with that said, let's go to the Patriots defense. Last week they allowed over 250 yards, 200 in the air, and they gave up about 50 yards running. Not bad against the run, considering. But the passing, over the middle, short passes, play actions, they seem to give up a lot of yards. So that's something to think about. And again, they've kept teams under 24, 25 points. All right. So they'll keep you in the game for sure. They're not going to get blown out, but they have some weaknesses back there that you got to be alert for. And this week they're going against a lot faster receivers than they had to face against the Texans. That's for sure. On the Denver side of the ball, they beat Buffalo last week. Uh, Headlines: Bo Nix is not QBing for Denver. Some of you already know this. He hurt his ankle. I know how to say break a leg for good luck. Well, this knucklehead broke his ankle, and it ain't good luck. It's pretty bad. They have a backup quarterback for them in there, Jarrett Stidham. A quick history of Jarrett. He's only played like 4 or 5 games for Denver. Last time he threw the ball was in 2023. He played 4 games. He started 4 games, okay, and went 1-3. But there were 2 games that he threw for a total of almost 500 yards. So he can light it up a little bit. All right, and not for nothing, he is the highest paid backup quarterback in the NFL right now. And if Sean Payton likes him, well, he's got to have something there, right? He's got to be ready, and I think he is. With that said, though, offensive line, they're not bad. They gave up 4 sacks last week. The problem with that offensive line this game is that their center, the veteran center, may be out. He's doubtful, and when I say doubtful, that usually means he's not in there. So you got a backup quarterback and another center, a backup center coming in there. Can make for a crazy, crazy game on their side of the ball anyway. They still have their weapons, Sutton, Mims, and Humphrey. They're pretty fast, and I believe they'll get open. The question is, will he get the ball to them? Because they are pretty quick, and they all have good hands. Well, Mims, it took him a few years to get to this level, but he's coming around. In the backfield, they'll have Harvey. He's going to be the workhorse. There's no Dobbins this week, which hurts also because he is a big part of this offensive push. So they'll be relying on Harvey most of the time, and they'll rotate the third and second string running backs. I mentioned Sutton and Mims are playing, and Humphrey, but there is no Troy Franklin. And the reason I'm saying no is because he's another one. He's doubtful. Not probable, doubtful, which usually means he's not going to play. And that's huge. He's a huge piece of that offensive receiving core. Not to mention their new sensation rookie Bryant will be out for a concussion protocol. So that's 2 pieces of their offense that will not be playing for them. But the defense, here's what keeps them in a lot of games, okay? And personally, the whole season, to me, they're the reason, just like the Texans. Okay, I won't go that far with the Patriots because I think their offense has done a balancing job there. Well, they do their part, the defense does their part. But with that said, the defense gave up over 440 yards last week. Mind you, 30 points against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. They're still very good, though. And they gave up 180 plus yards on the rushing side. But, you're going against Cook. You're going against Josh Allen, who likes to run the ball. I think he got about 40-something yards. It's tough. It's tough to maintain that and still play against Josh Allen's passing game as well. They did give up 266 yards in the air. But listen, they're still a very, very good defense. They're very good at hitting, tackling. The linebackers are fast. And, of course, that pass rush up front is going to be, to me, a turning point in this game. You had the Patriots are favored by 5.5 points over the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos will be at home. Patriots, Drake May, first on the road playoff game. Atmosphere, acclimatization to the air. We all know the difference between, like, when you get on a plane, jet lag, and you get to another place, all of a sudden it doesn't feel the same. You don't feel like you had the same amount of oxygen, or you just feel depleted and weak. Well, it takes a while to get used to that high air altitude in Denver. That's going to hurt the Patriots. Second of all, you got a great head coach on Denver, Sean Payton. He knows how to get this done. He's had backups before, and he's going to prove to the world that he can get it done with anybody. You understand what I'm saying? And that's his way, basically. Um, Dynasty, great pressure up front. I think they're going to give Drake May a hard time. I don't think that offensive line can sustain the pressure that the Denver Broncos are going to be bringing, and especially on the left side where that tackle is. With that said, Patriots are favorite 5.5 points over Denver. Denver's at home. I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos to cover the 5.5 points. I believe they'll keep it close enough. Not saying they're going to win the game, although if they keep it that close, it's very possible. I'm saying they're going to keep it under 6, and I believe it will come down to a field goal. The main thing to this game is simple. Actually, it's 2 points. One, turnovers will do you in against both of these teams. Second, up front, the trenches, the pressure, the blocking for the quarterback. Those 2 factors will mean everything. And I don't care who the backup is. And by the way, that kid Statham, I mean, he's been involved in about 20 plus games. All right, so he's been around the block. Don't take that out of the equation either. And when you got a good head coach, you can become a game manager. And you can go down in the history books too. I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos at home to cover the 5.5 points that they are given by the New England Patriots. Next up, we have. Now, where is it? You act like I'm turning like 80 pages here or something. There's only one more game. What am I looking for? Rams at the Seahawks. Man, this is going to be a good one. They split this year. The Rams will be visiting Seattle, where the 12th man is, the crowd and whatnot. Seattle at this time is 2.5 point favorites over the visiting Rams. All right, we'll start with the number one offense scoring in the NFL, the Rams. Matthew Stafford is playing like his usual MVP caliber self. Not really any changes. The weather last week, and they beat the Bears. Chicago was pretty bad with the snow and whatnot. Might have slowed them down. But one thing you know about Matthew Stafford, you're going to get your money's worth. All right, he'll give it all he's got. And I don't see any letdown there. Last week, he threw for about 260 yards. It's about right. But we'll get to the other part in a few minutes. It's going to blow your mind away. Adams, the core, receiving core, along with Whittington, running backs, Corum and Williams. We know that already. And Parkinson and Higbee will be the tight ends. As for the defense, they gave up 400 yards against the Bears last week. Not a high-powered team with the Chicago Bears. But let's face it, the last couple of weeks, they turned it on a little bit. And they're getting better. If only they can play another, 16 straight games? Of course, they'll be a lot better. But that's next year. Give up 160 yards on the run. And what does Seattle do good? Very good. Even though they don't have Charbonnet this week, they still got Walker. And last time Walker ran against the Rams, he ran for over 100 yards. And that was only a couple of weeks ago. In fact, in both games, total, this year, Walker has ran over 160 yards against the Rams defense. So let's not get caught up in what happened last week. You know what I mean? So listen, the Rams defense is not playing like they were before, like the last 4 or 5 weeks ago. No sacks last week. Yeah, they got pressure, but you got to get in there. It's like somebody knocking on the door, but you're not going to let them in. You know what I'm saying? So they have to stop doing something, changing up the exotic pass rush or blitzes or whatever. Because if you want to win this game against Seattle, you're going to have to take Sam Donald down. In fact, do me a favor, make sure he doesn't go on the edges because he's dangerous. When he gets outside that box, then all of a sudden you're like, uh-oh, here we go again. So, not a lot of faith in that pass rush this week. And the offensive line for Seattle is very good. They did cause 3 turnovers last week, gave up a total of 17 points. Rams are coming into this game, and mind you, I picked them, I don't know, 10, 11 weeks ago to make the Super Bowl. That was one of my teams that I picked to make the Super Bowl. But I have my doubts now. It took a few days. I looked at some more stuff, and I don't know. We'll get to that in a minute. Now, here's some stuff I'm going to bring up. Seahawks. Sam Donald, quarterbacking. Has he proven himself? Has he got that box checked where he can get it done? Now, he might be feeling a lot more confident winning that game last week, but he only threw for 130 yards. If that, he didn't have to do much, really. That's almost like a day off. But this week, he's going to have to really, really be on point. I'm believing the confidence that he has now, that he got over that hump that he had when he was with Minnesota at 14-2, and they collapsed after that, playoffs and whatnot. I believe he got a lot of confidence back. I believe he'll be poised and realize just to be the game manager and do what you got to do when in doubt. I get that. Just don't scramble out of the pocket for no reason and try to throw the ball down the field. Because now we're back to square one. So with that said, you got Sam Donald quarterbacking back there. They will have Walker in the backfield. Probably Akers is the backup running back because Charbonnet is not playing. That hurts. He's a weapon. No question about it. Running, catching the ball, running. He's fast. That's a big negative. But I think Walker will have another good day against the Rams' running defense. Because they're going to be too much. The Rams are going to be too much focused on the pass rush. It's in the back of their minds. They didn't get sacked last week. It's in the back of their mind that we're not putting enough. We're going to try to do a few different things, and they won't even notice Walker flying right by them. At least that's the way I see it. On the receiving core, you got Najiba. Okay, this guy's turned out to be a sensational receiver. Cooper Kupp. Come on. Enough said. And Shaheed, speedster. A lot of noise there. Not to mention A.J. Burner and Subert. Am I saying it right? Subert, the tight ends for Seattle. A lot of weapons. A lot of speed. Talent. And now we get to the defense. Now, I know people have been claiming that the Texans had the best defense. I guess if you go by statistics, I'd give it to you. The Seattle defense, to me, right now is the best defense in the NFL. Over Denver. Over Texas. And this is the reason why. Now, mind you, they've only given up 21 plus points to the opposing team over the past 10 weeks. The only team they gave up more points to was the Rams when they won, 37-30 in overtime. All right, so that's to be expected. And mind you, Stafford did throw for about 400 plus yards against him that day. They had a rough day, but they still managed to win the game. They didn't let it get away. And you will have letdown games and bad days. The question is, can you contain it so you don't lose the game? And they end up winning that game by a point, Hey, a win's a win. Listen. Oh, and they actually gave up a total of 580 yards total against the Rams. Last time they played was December 18th. That's 600 yards. That's a lot. Something to think about in the back of your mind. And also, one more thing. Devontae Adams wasn't even playing. All right, so that's another problem they're going to have to deal with. So you're like, hey, okay, Sean, so what's all this about their great defense and this and everything else? There's some teams that get in your head more than others. There's some rivalries that you are over prepared for. Seattle, calm down. You're there for a reason. You got home field throughout. You're in control. Don't fear the Rams. And I'm telling you, it looks like they have in the past couple of games because they know that's their nemesis and that's the big bully on the block. But with that said, though, Seahawks will be 2.5 point favorites over the Rams. Seattle will be at home. They got the crowd. The weather's just the way they like it. Rams, this is their third playoff road game in a row. Yeah, they've gotten it done. But if you ask me, the last 5 out of 6 games of the Rams have not been that impressive. They're lucky that they have the weapons and a decent defense to keep them in the games. Because if not, this could have been a horror show and the Rams probably wouldn't even be here. I don't trust them enough. Not to mention the fact that they're slow, and I've been saying that all season. Their linebackers are slow. The secondaries are slow. You guys want to watch all the games again? Go ahead. If you get around them one step, or if you're running back and you just juke the linebacker out of place, he's gone. You ain't catching him. Now, the only negative side is Sam Donald decides to run. Well, you could probably get some old lady from the stands to come out and tackle his head because he's slow. But Walker, no, that guy's quick. All right. And their secondary, again, to me, is not that fast and not that athletic. Seattle has a better defense here. Seattle has a team that likes to put you in the dirt and bury you. The defense is very gritty, hard hitting, excellent tackling. On the Rams side, Nakoa, Adams, just special kind of people. There's no question about it. They're special kind of players. But I just don't see them having enough to beat Seattle, to beat Seattle's defense. I see this coming down to the wire for sure. Seattle's not going to get blown out at home. There's no letdown game here. They destroyed San Francisco last week. And mind you, Frisco did not have Kittles, right? Some of the defensive players were hurt. But I told you from the get-go that Frisco's defense was suspect. And I guess I was proven right. And their offense had no answer for Seattle defense at all. They held them to 6 points. Rams, are they going to have the same kind of game? Over 580 yards total against the Seattle Seahawks defense? Nah, I don't see it. One game out of the whole season where they gave up that many yards, they got in the head. Don't let them get in your head. Seattle to win by 2.5 or more. So there you have it. Let's go over the 2 games real quick with a quick wrap up. We'll start with the other game. Patriots at the Broncos. Patriots will be 5.5 points over Denver. Denver having a backup quarterback in there with Garrett Statham. Great head coach Sean Payton. Top 3 defense across the board. Patriots, Drake May. First on-the-road playoffs at a hostile crowd. Mike Grable, great coach. Good offensive weapons with Diggs and Booty. Defense, not as good as Denver's. And I think this kid Stidham is going to have a good day. I think he's going to throw for around 220, 250. Just mix it up, play action, roll out. Patriots are weak, to me, in the middle. Tight end crossover, delayed handoffs, up the middle, bring the defense in, go deep. That'll more than likely be Sean Payton's game. The defense is stingier than the Patriots here. Turnovers always play a key. Don't get it twisted. Acclimatization to the weather, the air. Listen, backup quarterback or not, 5.5 to me is still a little too disrespectful to Denver at home with that defense. I'm going with the Denver Broncos to cover the 5.5 points as the underdog. And then the next game, the Rams at the Seahawks. Seahawks will be favored by 2.5 points at this time. Very competitive game. Pretty much balanced. Both very good head coaches. Both very good quarterbacks. And I got to say that because Sam Darnold, all right, he got over a little hump. He's got another hump to go, but he's getting there. We got to consider him very good. Smart players on the Rams. Whitney Cool, of course. Adams. Tight ends. Above average defense, although the front four really has to get it together. But I think that'll be in the back of their mind. And that offensive line on Seattle is very good. Very, very good. Sam Darnold, not the fastest guy on the block, but he knows how to elude pass rush. Walker back there, make defenses think twice about running past him. Because if he gets open, gets a small catch or whatnot, he's off to the races. And that's the Seattle's defense, hands down, to me, the best defense in the NFL. With that said, I'm taking Seattle to win and cover the 2.5 points over the Rams. And one more thing, what I told you last week, Seattle has not lost a home playoff game in 20 years. And I think now it's up to 12 games. In 20 years, 12 home playoff games they have not lost. One game away from the Super Bowl. I don't think Seattle is going to let us down. And don't let them get the lead first, because the Rams will be in trouble. Seattle knows how to control the ball. I think they held it for over 30 minutes last game. They do that a lot. One more thing. Last time the Rams played Seattle, the Rams were up 24-13 at one point in the fourth quarter. Rams did that old relaxation mode that they get in for some reason in the second half. I don't understand that. Maybe it's a prevent defense that's just not preventing. Seattle came back and won that game in overtime. Something to think about. Remember, no Charbonnet in the backfield for Seattle. And Sam Darnold, who I like to call Boy Wonder, because you always wonder what Sam Darnold's going to show up this week. He's playing good football. He's playing excellent quarterback manager. I believe he'll get it done. Take Seattle, 2.5 points. over the Rams. With that said, everybody, I wish you good luck, safe weekend, and hey, make sure the cat's fed. Thank you.